South Korea, a country full of lush greenery with beaches along the coast and a metropolitan capital abundant with vibrant people and culture. Behind its flourishing economy ranked 11th in the world and the glitz and glamour of its pop culture, it also faces a national mental health and suicide crisis due to the country's intense pressure put on grade school students and bigotry toward members of the queer community. In Western democracies, there's been an increase in support towards LGBTQ rights, whereas in South Korea, there's more of an intolerance toward inclusion and acceptance.
We believe in the union of men and women based on the teachings of the Bible. It's natural, and we oppose any violations against this natural order.
While homosexuality is not criminalized in South Korea, the country still denies marriage and adoption for a same-sex couple, and there are no anti-discrimination laws in effect that protect queer people from hate crimes or harassment in the workplace. Korea's older generation is more discriminatory towards homosexuality because of the nation's views built on Confucianism. According to National Geographic, Confucianism is an ancient Chinese belief system which focuses on the importance of personal ethics and morality. The elements and values of Korean Confucianism have influenced heterosexuality as the country's social norm. A 2019 article from The Diplomat explains that the Confucian value of filial piety creates expectations that sons, and nowadays daughters, will get married and continue the family line. However, because a gay son is unlikely to fulfill these expectations, family members may be especially opposed to a homosexual relative. Other Asian countries such as Japan and Taiwan also rely heavily on Confucian views, but they show more tolerance and respect for people belonging to the queer community. So much so that Taiwan became the first Asian country to legalize same-sex marriage on May 24, 2019. Another example of intolerance for the LGBTQ community comes from mandatory service in the military. Because the Korean War ended in an armistice between the North and South in 1953, the two nations are still technically at war with one another. As a result, the Constitution of the Republic of Korea enforced military conscription in 1957, quote, as an essential tool for building and maintaining massive armed forces in post-war Korea. I bring up the topic of the Korean military because back in January of 2020, 21-year-old Staff Sergeant Byun Hee-soo was discharged from the military because of her mental and physical disability of being transgender.
저희 성별 정체성을 떠나 제가 이 나라를 지키는 훌륭한 군인 중 하나가 될 수 있다는 것을 모두에게 보여주고 싶습니다.
South Korean authorities said that while the military has no specific regulations banning transgender service members or concerning their transition, it considers the removal of genitals a disability, necessitating the discharge decision. This story brings back harsh memories of July of 2017, when former President Donald Trump reversed a policy originally approved during the Obama administration that allowed those who identify as transgender to enlist in the United States military. These are just your average law-abiding citizens that wish to rightfully serve and protect their country, yet somehow government officials and military personnel continue to fail and discriminate against them. Although the country's older generation is known for its intolerance towards homosexuality, it's rather refreshing to see celebrities and other public figures in South Korean pop culture that are either members of or show their support toward the gay community, as well as LGBTQ+ representation in different areas of Korean media. In January of 2018, a solo artist debuted as the first openly gay South Korean idol. Holland chose his stage name in homage to the first country to legalize same-sex marriage, the Netherlands. Prior to his debut as an independent soloist, Holland had been a trainee at one of Korea's big three music labels, but hasn't revealed to the public which one exactly. Unfortunately, the label was completely against him debuting as an openly gay artist in fear that it would damage his image. After dropping his debut single's music video via YouTube on January 21st, 2018, he gained an overwhelming amount of support from new fans across the world. Other K-pop artists have continued to show their support for the community and their fans that are a part of it.
I have many different sides of me. Yeah. Like dorky. LGBT.
No matter who you are, where you're from, your skin color, your gender identity, just speak yourself.
Members of the worldwide phenomenon BTS have openly shown their support for and collaborated with queer Western artists such as Troye Sivan, Lil Nas X, and Halsey. And oftentimes, we see K-pop idols sporting clothing items or fashion accessories from various brands' LGBTQ+ campaigns, all in attempts to proudly and modestly show their support. Another addition to South Korea's small list of queer celebrities is actor and television personality Hong Sok-cheon.
You are actually one of the only openly gay celebrities in Korea. 그치?
20년 됐거든.
God, it's been 20 years since you came out.
2000s I came out.
And you did that on TV?
Yeah, on TV and on magazine too.
So how was it? Because you're basically the Ellen of Korea.
In a 2003 New York Times article, he explains how his declaration introduced the concept of coming out to a society that until then didn't even acknowledge the existence of homosexuality and even regarded it as a foreign disease. Hong made a cameo in a few episodes of the Netflix original Korean drama series Itaewon Class, which premiered on January 31st of 2020. This leads me to my next topic of queer representation in Korean television. In the drama, one of the supporting characters, played by actress Lee Joo-young, is a transgender woman who works at a restaurant in the Seoul neighborhood of Itaewon, hoping to save up money for her gender confirmation surgery. As the show advances, Hyunhee becomes more secure in slowly revealing her gender identity to her co-workers and friends. The owner of the restaurant, played by actor Park Seo-joon, shows his support in an episode where Hyunhee's history with her sexuality is used against her. This backfires, and Park assures her of how brave she is and how her comfort in her identity is more important than the success of the pub. Hyunhee, although a fictional character, is one of the lucky ones to have a supportive group of friends and faces no discrimination at the workplace. More often than not, queer people will not disclose information related to their sexual orientation or come out to their employers and coworkers with concern towards the potential of being harassed or even have their employment be terminated. As for healthcare, there aren't many hospitals that perform services for those that identify as transgender, and the ones that do offer services are not covered by insurance. While it seems there's no light at the end of the tunnel for members of the queer community in South Korea, it's worth mentioning the resources and foundations that are dedicated to LGBTQ advocacy. Hang Song-in, also known as Solidarity for LGBT Human Rights of Korea, is an organization founded in Seoul back in 1997. According to their website's mission statement, the association, quote, dreams of an equal society in which the human rights of social minorities are valued. We believe that discriminations and oppressions against the sexual minority can be wiped off when the social minority and the vulnerable join our actions. Therefore, we should not turn away our heads about the discrimination against others and have to seek solutions together. End quote. Also found in Seoul is a dance studio called Ludan, founded in 2016 by queer feminist Kim Yoo-jin. The first thing you see on their website is the phrase, "the place where you can dance as you are," and it rings true. The school is part of a broader trend in Korea that's seen individuals pressing against gender binaries and patriarchal views of women. Seoul is also the epicenter for the Queer Culture Festival that lasts for about a week or two during Pride Month.
지금 여기가 어디죠?
여기 서울시청이고요. 서울 퀴어 퍼레이드가 열리고 있는 곳입니다.
Calling for an end to discrimination and equal rights for sexual minorities, hundreds of people gathered in front of Seoul Plaza on Saturday to attend the 2019 Seoul Queer Parade marking its 20th anniversary.
While there is still much work to be done in terms of getting anti-discrimination laws passed and legalizing same-sex marriage, South Korea is slowly but surely making the moves toward inclusion and acceptance.
I have never seen this many people at Seoul Pride before. I think it's great.
The size of the protester groups has been becoming smaller and smaller, so that's a huge change. The most important thing is bringing visibility to the society and eventually educate people and make the society where LGBTQ and all the sexual minority can live safely. Positive changes are happening.
It is with hope that in the meantime we will see more representation in Korean mass media and pop culture.